Hey, it's Mhairi, aka Type 1 Reader, and today we're going to be going over my March TBR. So in March, it's actually going to be a really busy month for me in my real life. So I'm very hopeful that I can get to all the books that I'm going to talk about in today's video, but we're really gonna have to see. I'm going on multiple work trips that I am going to extend into personal trips as well. I have a wedding. It's gonna be very busy, but on top of that, I also have 3 of my most highly anticipated releases of the year coming out this month. So I also want to try and do individual reading vlogs for those 3 books. I hope I can get that all done. We'll just have to see. Subscribe to find out if I end up accomplishing that. But anyways, in today's video, I also wanted to let AI help me with picking my TBR. I haven't seen anyone else do this before. Maybe they have on BookTube and I just haven't seen, but I thought it would be kind of fun to let ChatGPT help me pick the remainder of my TBR that I don't already have set. So first of all, let's talk about the books I already know I'm going to read, and then we can get into the AI part. So first of all, the Ragpicker King by Cassandra Clare is going to be coming out. This is the sequel to Swordcatcher, which was her first adult fantasy novel that came out, I don't even think it was last year, I think it was the year before. I really loved this fantasy. I gave it 5 stars like I do for a lot of Cassandra Clare's books. She is one of my favorite authors of all time. Even though it's adult, it's pretty accessible. It has a pretty similar vibe to her other books, but there is quite a bit of info dumping. I will warn you about that. I think because it was, you know, her first time writing about a new world that is not just the Shadowhunter world. But basically in this fantasy, it takes place in this kind of medieval time period. And we have our main character, Kel, who is known as the prince's swordcatcher. He's kind of like his body double. So he's meant to like protect the prince in this world. And then we also follow another main character, Lynn, who is one of the remaining magic people in this land. But magic has been outlawed. So her people have a lot of like rules that govern them and stuff like that. So those are our 2 main characters that we're following, and eventually their stories do intersect. At the end of the book, it's very exciting. There's a bit of a mystery going on that I was definitely invested in. So I think in this second book, both characters are going to be seeking the help of the character named the Ragpicker King. He was one of my favorite characters in the first book. He's kind of like the criminal in this world. He does a lot of business on like the darker side of town kind of thing. So I think Kel and Lynn are both going to be involving the Ragpicker King in their storylines a lot, and so I'm definitely excited to continue seeing more of these characters and this world, especially the Ragpicker King. So stay tuned. I want to do a reading vlog just for this book, and I do already have a reading vlog up of Swordcatcher if you want to watch that and catch up. Another book I'm really excited to see come out is Oathbound by Tracy Donne. This is the 3rd book in the Legendborn cycle, I think it's called. I have absolutely loved the first 2 books in this series. I believe it's ongoing. I don't think this is the last book, just the 3rd installment. But in this series, we follow Bree, who is a teen. This is a young adult series. She goes to this new school and she ends up getting wrapped up in this world of demons and hidden magic. It's based on like Arthurian legend, where there's these people called Merlins, and they're kind of like descendants of Arthur's Round Table and stuff like that. This is another series that does have quite a bit of like info dumping when trying to build up the world, but once you get into it, you come to understand it a bit more. In this last book, like in the second book, sorry, I feel like a lot of stuff went down, and in this 3rd one, we're going to be dealing with the aftermath of that. Obviously, I can't spoil things, but one of my favorite things about this series is the romance between Bree and the love interest Selwyn. So always excited to read more about those 2. Once again, stay tuned for my review on that. And then the 3rd highly anticipated book, I'm sure you probably guessed it, Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Of course, the next book in the Hunger Games series. This is known as Haymitch's book, so I'm really excited. Of course, like everyone out there, I love Haymitch. So his games is the 50th annual Hunger Games, which is a quarter quell, of course. So I think this one will be an interesting one to focus on because there's twice the amount of tributes, I believe. So we're gonna have even more characters and just find out Haymitch's backstory, which is definitely gonna be interesting. I think he had like someone that he loved. He obviously must have lost. Like, I think it'll be really interesting. So again, I do want to do a vlog for that as well. If you care, let me know down below if you'd prefer like spoiler filled reading vlogs or spoiler free for these reading vlogs. I do both and I kind of switch it up what I do. So let me know if you do happen to have a preference. The only other book I have set for the month is my book club book that I have with my friends. It's going to be James by Percival Everett. This was not one that I proposed, but when someone else suggested it, I was fine with it because I've heard such good things about this book, but it is a little bit out of my comfort zone because it's like based on Huckleberry Finn or something, which is like a classic literature book I've never read, but it's like a different take on it where we're following from the character Jim or James's point of view rather than Huckleberry's. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I know people are loving it. So while I don't know a ton about it, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it brings some good discussion in our book club. Okay, now let's get to the AI picks. So yeah, as I said, I mean, obviously, like many people, I sometimes use AI or ChatGPT for inspiration and stuff in my life. So I came up with a couple different prompts. We'll see how it goes. But I was gonna ask ChatGPT for some book recommendations, and then at the end of the month, we can see if it gives good recommendations or not. So let's pull it up here. So the first prompt, I thought I would list a couple books that I liked and say, recommend me a book based on these. So I was thinking of going for a young adult thriller. I feel like it's been a while since I read a young adult thriller, but obviously I love them, such as A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So I'm gonna say, give me maybe 5 book recommendations, just so we have like a bit of a list to work off of in case I've read some of them. Give me 5 book recommendations for someone who loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, and, or should I just leave it at that? And Truly Devious series. I hope I don't confuse them. Give me 5 book recommendations for someone who loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy and Truly Devious series. So I'm giving them options. Let's see. Let's see. Oh my god. I'm nervous. One of Us is Lying. Okay, I've read it. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Obviously, I've heard of this, but I haven't read it. Sadie by Courtney Summers. Read it. So, this might be the issue, is that I've read them all. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, I have read. The Ivies by Alexa Donne. I think this is on my TBR. I think that's on my TBR. And that's it. Okay, so I have read most of them, so it's good I asked for 5 recommendations. The ones I haven't read is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which says it's about a group of teens with exceptional abilities assist the FBI in solving cold cases, but their involvement becomes perilous when a new killer emerges. I am interested in reading this series. Haven't heard a lot about it, but reading that description sounds kind of fun. And obviously I enjoyed her other series, but I don't know if I want to take this on. The one that intrigues me more is The Ivies by Alexa Donne. An elite boarding school, a group of girls will stop at nothing, including murder, to secure their spots in the Ivy League. As I said, I think this is on my TBR already. It sounds like something I'd be interested in. A group of girls at a boarding school. There's mystery, maybe secret society. So I actually think that's a good recommendation. Okay, we're gonna go with that one. Let me add it. Great. So that worked out. Awesome. So for my next prompt for AI, I was gonna do like a romance book rec based on some tropes that I like. Unfortunately, I'm currently reading romances when I'm filming this and I'm not loving it, so I don't really want to ask for another romance, but whatever, I'll just do it. So let's say, give me 5 book recommendations that have enemies to lovers and fake dating tropes. Should I say romance books? Romance. Give me 5 romance book recommendations that have enemies to lovers and fake dating tropes. I'm a little worried I'll have read these as well, but let's see. Searching. The Hating Game. We've read it. Okay. Should have known they go for a basic. Love Hypothesis. We've read it. Spanish Love Deception. I actually never read. Don't know if I want to though. Like, I'm very aware of this book already and I don't really want to. The Boys I Loved Before. Okay. Obviously, we've read that. Hate to Love You by Jennifer Suzanne. In this college sports romance, a fake dating arrangement between a campus player and a fellow student leads to unexpected feelings, blending with enemies to lovers and fake relationship themes. Now, you know me seeing that cover. I don't love that. So I can tell it's like a Kindle Unlimited book, which I don't love. What if I say, give me 5 more book recommendations for enemies to lovers and fake dating? Will they remember that they just gave me 5? The Unhoneymooners some reason they can't pull up the image, but we've read that. Oh my god, is this a glitch? Bro, what? Something is wrong here. I think I've broken AI. Okay, I'm gonna refresh. Let's try that again. Red, White, and Royal Blue, we've read it. Okay, maybe this was not a good prompt. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. Mariana Zapata, I have read a book from her before, but it was not my favorite. I didn't hate it though. It was the skating one, Look Off With Love. I have heard good things about this one. Vanessa, assistant to professional football player, agrees to a fake marriage to help him with his residency status, turning their employee-employer relationship into something deeper. Okay, If I Never Met You by Mhairi McFarlane. This is an author I've heard of, but I've never read. So maybe this is what we want to go with. After a sudden breakup, Lori and her colleague Jamie pretend to date to make her ex jealous and to help Jamie's career, but their fake relationship starts to feel real. Is it enemies to lovers though, or is it just fake dating? Right? The Risk by Elle Kennedy. I've heard of Elle Kennedy, but maybe not this book particularly. Seems to be another sports romance. Okay, that's a common theme. Fake It Till You Break It by Megan Brandy. Neighbors pretend to date to avoid their parents' matchmaking, but their fake relationship uncovers true feelings. Okay. Honestly, the Mhairi McFarlane interests me the most, but I want to look into it a little bit more to see if like my friends have liked it, anyone I have on Goodreads, just to get a second opinion here. Chandler Ainsley has given it 5 stars. Cindy only gave it a 3. Zoe liked it. Okay, my friend Sarah only gave it a 3. Someone else gave it a 2, 3, 5 from Haley. You know what? That's a mixture. I think I'm gonna go with that one. Okay, my first Mhairi McFarlane book. And then for my third prompt for ChatGPT, I don't know if this one's gonna work out, but I was gonna ask them to give me a book recommendation based on my Goodreads profile. I don't know if they're gonna be able to handle that. Let's say, give me 5 book recommendations based on my Goodreads profile. I'm afraid this is gonna really confuse them and they're gonna recommend me books that I've already read, but we'll see. Based on your Goodreads. Oh, these are books I've read. Oh no, it's books I read. You have a diverse reading taste that includes fantasy, thriller, contemporary fiction, and nonfiction. Considering your interests, and it broke again. AI broke again. I think I'm gonna have to come up with something different. I think it couldn't handle, or should I just try to search it again? Because it seemed to have broken. No, it's just giving books I've read. Oh, Educated I haven't read. A powerful memoir recounting author's journey from growing up in a strict abusive household to pursuing education. I don't really want to read that. Okay, I'm gonna need to come up with a different prompt. Okay, how about this? Recommend 5 books for a woman in her 20s. I'm just gonna describe myself. Recommend 5 books for a woman in her 20s. Should I just say that? Normal people, we've read it. Okay, I guess they're saying navigating your 20s is an exciting journey of self-discovery, growth, and new experiences. Here are 5 books that resonate with women in this transformative decade. Okay, The Bell Jar. Throwback. Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. Okay, I've heard of Dolly Alderton, I have. A memoir reflecting on the author's experience with friendship, love, self-discovery, offering insights into trials and triumphs of early adulthood. That one could be good. I want to read more nonfiction, so that seems to be what they're leaning towards here. Atomic Habits. I've obviously heard of this one. Actually, this might be one that Dakota has on his bookshelf. It explores how tiny changes can lead to remarkable results, helping readers build good habits and break bad ones. I don't know if I need this one a lot because I'm such a habit person. I'm such a routine person. I don't think I need help with this. The Defining Decade, Why Your 20s Matter and How to Make the Most of Them Now. A clinical psychologist emphasizes the importance of 20s and provides advice on how to utilize this decade to shape one's future. This one sounds maybe more like clinical, more boring. So maybe this one by Dolly Alderton is something we could consider. I'm gonna look it up on Goodreads again to see a little bit more about it. Have none of my friends read it? 3, 2, and then unrated. Okay, some of the people on here have not given it the best rating, but I still think this is a good pick for me. As I said, I have heard overall good things about Dolly Alderton, and I think this will mix up my reading a little bit with how busy my month is. I think all of these books are not too heavy of reads, so I think that'll be good with my busy schedule for the month. Let me know what you thought of this TBR, and if I do AI prompts in the future, let me know what I should do next, because I feel like this was a fun way to get book recommendations. Every month, in case you don't know, I like to play these different games or do different challenges that help me pick my TBR. So I really liked getting ChatGPT's help with this one. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you soon in a new video. Be sure to subscribe so you can see my review of all these books coming soon. All right, bye.